On today's Apple Daily, Mondays are weird because America hasn't started the week yet. Beats Flex, $49 replacement for $150 Beats Specs. Leaks, love them or hate them. We update our November event predictions and one of the biggest Notification Squad updates for a while.
This is the Apple Daily.
I'm David for Living on iPad, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. If you want the latest news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing, and you will get a shout out if you do that in my Notification Squad at the end of our news episodes, like loads of people are today. But you have to tell me in the comments you've done it or I won't know. Beats Flex, $49 replacement for $150 Beats Specs. This has come out, apparently it actually came out on Tuesday, the same day as the iPhone event, which is why nobody knew about it in the world, because everyone was too excited about iPhones. So the Beats Flex are a $49 pair of wireless headphones, and they're not like the true wireless earbud headphones like AirPods. They're two earbuds that are connected by a single cable that runs behind the back of your neck, so they've only got a single Bluetooth connection, things like that. So that's how they make them a little bit cheaper, but they are replacing a much more expensive set of headphones, $150 set of headphones. A couple of takeaways from this. Lew from Unbox Therapy, he has said maybe the Beats are going to become like the budget option within Apple's range so that the AirPods stay as the premium. Could be. But one thing that came to mind for me is that we were hearing a lot about Apple getting rid of Beats altogether and dropping them after they dropped Beats One as the name of their radio station. I don't think you're going to start introducing new products into your range if you're getting rid of that range. So I think Lew could be right on this. They're either making it into a budget range or, as I've said before, I think the bigger focus for them is people that aren't necessarily Apple users in the ecosystem as much, and they're wanting to have a brand that is more accessible for people that use a Samsung or a Google phone or something else like that. They're very popular with athletes, they're very popular with like musicians, hip-hop artists and stuff like that as well. So maybe that's what it is, don't know. Maybe they're keeping it for that. Leaks, love them or hate them. Now, this seems to have become a big old conversation going on Twitter. I started something like this, and I'm not sure if I was one of the first or not, but we put out a video a while ago talking about leakers kind of working a bit like psychics in a lot of cases, where they're kind of throwing a lot of ideas at the wall and hoping that something sticks, and then when something does stick, then that's the one that they're going to crow about, and they're going to ignore all the other stuff and use confirmation bias to make you forget about the misses. However, it seems like there's a lot of people on Twitter that are thinking, including people that I very much respect, that are thinking maybe the amount of leaks that are coming out at the minute is kind of disrespectful to the people that are putting a lot of work into getting these product releases together. Over at Apple, for example, they think that the people that are putting all this work in at Apple, it's not fair that they don't get their moment. I'd really like to know what you guys as an audience think. I think it would be very difficult for me to do a channel like this if we didn't report on the leaks that happen. Now, we're not going out looking for people that work at Apple to get information, inside information. That's not what we do. When stuff comes into the ecosystem, when it's out there, it's being talked about. If I don't talk about it, you're going to go and watch another channel probably, because I'm not talking about the stuff that interests you and you're not getting the information from me that you want. At the same time, I don't want to be putting stuff out there that is spoiling the events for people either. I think it's quite clear that if we're talking about unreleased Apple products, there are going to be potential spoilers. But we also don't know. It's exactly the same as when you're talking about potentially the plot of a movie that's coming out. We don't know that this is what's happening, but we're kind of looking at the trailers and we're trying to get a little bit of information. Now, it's a little bit different because obviously those trailers are being put out by the movie studios who want the information to be out there. I'm not convinced that there's a fair amount of the leaks that come out to us that aren't put out there by Apple intentionally because they want to create buzz ahead of things, and I don't care how it comes out as long as people aren't losing their jobs over it. But I would love to know your opinions in the comments. It's a really bit of a weird kind of side question, but do you like the leak stuff? Do you like us talking about the stuff that comes out? Would you be happy if we just ignored leaks and just talked about the stuff that Apple's announced, I feel like that would make the channel a lot less useful to people. Speculating on Apple Silicon, for example, there's very little that's actually leaked. There was the early specs for the MacBook. Who knows if they're still valid? But we're going to talk about that again in a minute. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about us talking about leaks. Does it upset you? Do you think it's unfair on the people that work so hard on these events at Apple? Or is it just what you come here for? And predictions for the November event. Now, as I say, this is not leaked. This is stuff that's we're kind of just working on. The only bit that is potentially leaked is this first part, which is AirTags. John Prosser has tweeted a couple of days ago, I think we mentioned it on Friday's show, that AirTags are apparently completed. They've been produced. They're in the boxes. They're waiting to just be released with iOS 14.3, which will contain all of the little bits, the little nuggets of code that we need in order for them to work. Surely we're going to get them. We've only been waiting 2.5 years. And obviously AirPower is just around the corner. No, AirPower is dead. That's why we've got MagSafe back. Next up that I think is pretty likely at the event is iPads Pro with A14X and potentially 5G chips, but doubtful that they'll get new displays at this event. This, I think we should expect to be a minor refresh in comparison to the previous ones where you got a new design language. You're not going to get any of that. The one thing that I think would be great for Apple to do with the iPad Pro in terms of design and industrial design is to take the current design which they've just passed on to the iPhone 12 and to the iPad Air and take a cue back from the iPhone 12 Pro, which is to use stainless steel for the edges and throw some of that sweet frosted glass on the back. Now, a couple of reasons for this. If you put frosted glass on the back, you can use MagSafe. But also, I think it would just like differentiate it again and bring it back in line with what Pro means in terms of Apple's ecosystem at this point. I think that would be really cool. That's the only design change that I would anticipate Apple might be considering. Stainless steel as well. If you ever saw the videos from Jerry Rig Everything where he was bending the iPad Pros, I don't know if that was addressed in the 2020 model from the 2018. But it's basically because aluminium is a fairly soft metal and they were using, it's quite a thin chassis. But if you were to put those stainless steel bands around it, I think you would have a much harder time in bending them. What else do I think we'll see? In terms of Apple Silicon stuff, MacBook. I think we might be looking, because of the performance that we've seen in the benchmarks for the A14 chip, we could well be looking at an A14 or an equivalent of an A14 chip in the base level MacBook. Then I think we may well, based on the numbers of the product codes that we saw leaked at the end of last week, not leaked as such, but revealed on the Eurasian database, I think we might be seeing a couple of desktops. So 24-inch iMac, quite possibly with an A14X equivalent, and a Mac Mini potentially coming out with maybe even what they put in the developer preview pack just because they know that it works already, but quite possibly with an A14 and an A14X type option. That would be quite a cool one to put out there. As I say, I think a low-end Mac, but I think a low-end Mac Mini would be a really good way for Apple to get some market share, and also maybe they can hit back down to that $500 price point that they used to have for the Mac Minis. It went up on the last refresh to $799, I think. If they could get back down to $500 or $599, that would be super compelling. And surely that would be reasonably easy to do, given that they don't need a battery in there, they don't need a display, they can sell it without a keyboard and mouse. Surely that's doable. And then what else do I think we'll see? I think we will see Apple Fitness Plus and Apple One both released finally. I think they will both be here probably by the beginning of December, that they're actually available to start using. And AirPods Studio, we're fully aware that this is probably now going to be in March. There is a possibility that they could announce them and ship them after Christmas, but I think it's more likely that they'll do more of an audio-focused event in March, maybe update the original HomePod with a lower price and with the S5 chip in the HomePod Mini. That kind of thing would work well. And then maybe they make it more of like a smart home event and also release that new Apple TV that everyone's been talking about So, Notification Squad updates. I'm going to call this the Notification Squad Pro Max because it is huge compared to normal. We have a bunch of new members, and as usual, sorry about your names. We have Krishna Games, we have Melody Chu, we have Konglong Gaming, Exploring Media, Random Creations, Clyde Ijakia, I'm going to go with that, sorry. And Tato, or Tato. I mean, I do my best. I really try with these. But thank you all for joining my notification squad. These are the people. When we have a new video go live at 12 UTC every day in the week, or when we put out the extra videos, which we've got a couple coming this week. We're going to have one on making this Mac faster without adding any hardware. But when we put out our extra videos, these are the people that know about it straight away. We do a premiere for the majority of the videos, which means that you can sit along and chat to me in the live chat on most days, unless I have to be out for work for some reason, just as the videos go live and I can't, sit in a car park somewhere for 10 minutes. So we try to, I try to chat with everyone. If you've noticed in the comments, I pretty much answer every single comment. So if you want to join my notification squad, you want to know when the latest videos are going out, the subscriber count is always on the back here, so you can tell how we're doing. We're pushing for that 1,000 subscribers so that we can become, it just unlocks a bunch of features for me, including being able to monetize my videos, which will help support the channel. Just means we can get more stuff to look at in person rather than just having a look on the internet and reacting to news that happens there. But if you want to join the notification squad, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, so that you get notified every time we put out a new video, and let me know in the comments that you've done that so that I can give you a shout out in the next one, because I would love to have this many people every day to thank. So, thank you, and I will see you in the next video.